of worship, but you don't get to build it. But still, that's all in His power. But sometimes we want to do something bad and we don't get to do it, and that's also in His power. Why I'm mentioning this is because one of the things we're being ordered to do, and we just heard it, is to fast the month of Ramadan. And my question, rhetorically, is why? Why is Almighty God, Allah, requiring me and you and all of us to fast this month of Ramadan? Why? Did you ever think about that? Why? Now, some people could say, well, one thing is, when you're fasting, your body gets a chance to level out. Because sometimes during the year, the rest of the year, people say, come over to my house and have a bite to eat. Okay, you eat. Then somebody else said, oh, come over to my house. I just say, no, you just try this, try this. We know the culture here, and these people will force feed you. Okay? And if you won't open your mouth, they'll inject it into you. You're going to eat. Right? Yeah, that's how it goes. And throughout the day, you might eat 4 times or 5 times, or snacks and this and that, and food and coffee and so many things. So Ramadan gives your body a chance to go, at least now, until the sun goes down, your body can try to level out. So you might say it might be just a physical thing. I need to do that for my body. Some doctors will tell you right away, this is a good idea. Fasting is good. It's good for your body. Good for your health. And some other people might say, well, fasting is also a way to me to balance out my life a little bit too. To get a hold of my thoughts. And I'm not so busy worried about food all the time. I can do some work and get some things done. Then when I break my fast, I can be with my friends, and it feels really good. Now, when you have fasted all day, then you take anything, even a drink of water, it tastes great, doesn't it? I used to say that the month of Ramadan is 30 days of the best water you ever tasted. Because when you break your fast, the same water you had for breakfast is the same water. Suddenly, you spit off. I'm not fasting, so, it's like, it's water. But when you're fasting, you break your fast, you're like, water. How nice is this water? So is this the purpose that Allah created all this? Actually, I want to take you backward now before we go to find out what this purpose was. I want to go back to the very beginning of the Quran. This is from chapter 2, by the way, if you want to know where that's at. Chapter 2, verse 183. We go by the numbers. But the first chapter only has 7 verses. 7 verses all are there in the first chapter. So let's take a look at that and see if we get some understanding. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Now we find from this, in a translation, that this is not just another verse or series of verses in the Quran. In fact, it's called the opening of Fatiha. And in a sense, for those of you watching, you're not Muslim, you've been thinking about Islam, and I know we have a lot of you out there watching this right now because, as a matter of fact, we're broadcasting this on Guidance TV all across the world. We're also, I think, on Al Jazeera. You guys are working, okay? It's working? Yeah? All right. I'm going to give you guys a hard time. So, we are broadcasting all over the world. A lot of people watching right now have been thinking about Islam. What is Islam? Is it about terrorism? Is it about, blowing up stuff? Is it all about taking over and forcing people to blah, 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 blah? This is all the stuff we hear in the news. But let's listen to what the Quran says and then find out what is Islam. Why not? Why not go to the source? Or you trust people who are translating for you, telling you how to think. So here it says, in the name of Allah. We already talked about Allah's name. We know that that's His name. You don't be praying, hey God. No, it's Allah. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise and thanksgiving is for Allah. The most gracious, the most merciful. He's repeating this. You see that? Most gracious, most merciful. Rahman, Rahim. Rahman, this is for the whole universe. He has 100 parts of Rahman. And the whole entire universe is getting only one part. The other 99 parts waiting for the believers on Yom Kippur on the day of judgment. So definitely you want to be, at least know what a believer is. So let's find out. Maliki Yawm Ad-Din, he is the ruler, owner, or sovereign on the day of judgment. Then we're going to make a statement. Up to now we're just acknowledging who God is. But now we're going to make a statement. That we are reserving our ibadah or worship only for God. We're just worshiping God, not what He created. Worship the Creator, not the creation. It's a very simple thing, but it means a big story. And then we go on to say, and you are the one we're looking for hidayah or guidance from. We need you to guide us. Now watch what's coming up next. Ihdina. This is an imperative of a verb in the Arabic language. It means you're ordering somebody to do it. It doesn't say please. That's what. It says it clearly. You guide me. Ihdina, or guide us. Ihdina, guide us. And then we go on to say, Sarat, the path, Aladina, of those people, and that have the favor of the big gift of Allah, the Naam. Then we say, not the way of those guys that have your ghadab, your anger, your wrath, and not the way of those who are dalala, lost. Now, from this, we're learning something. We've asked God, Allah, to guide us. And we even told Him what we wanted and what we don't want. Then if we're praying in the salah, we're doing salah, then we say, Ameen. Make it happen. But then what? Where's it going to come from? Where's the guidance going to come from? I mean, if I stop right there, it's like shouting in the wind. I don't know if it happened or not. I don't know if anybody got the message. You know what I'm saying? You ever shout in the wind and you don't know if people heard you? Yeah, people down in front of you on the beach or somewhere, you go, hey, but the wind's blowing it the wrong, maybe they didn't hear you. So where did my prayer go? If you just keep reading the Quran, look what happens. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now listen. Here you're reading 3 letters from the Arabic alphabet. Alif, Lam, Mim. Then, Dalik. Dalik Kitab. What does that mean? Somebody tell me what does that mean? Dalik Kitab. Huh? That's the book. He knows Arabic. All right. Most people rely on the translation. It said, this book. Now watch this. Okay? So I said, this in Arabic is had. But when I point to that, I say what? That. That. This, that. This, that. So if I say, Hada al-Kitab, this book. Zalik Kitab. So now I mean that book. So you're absolutely right. Zalik Kitab Allah, right. That book, wherein there is la rayb, no doubt. Fi muttaqin. In it is what? Hidayah, guidance for the believers. Now wait a minute. Didn't we just ask for guidance a minute ago? Remember we said we wanted guidance. Well, here it is. Where? In that book. Because not only is it guidance, there's no doubt in it. And this is coming from your Lord. But just keep reading though. Are there any conditions? Can I just pick it up? I mean, because if I stop right there, it means I can just pick up that book and okay, I got my guidance right here. Sorry, that's mine. Okay. But I got my guidance. I'm guided. I got the book. Maybe I can put it on my head. Like they do in Pakistan. Did I say that out loud? Okay. Anyway. I can't go back to Pakistan, right? Anyway. So what is the, if I just stop right there, I got this book, I'm guided. It must be a roadmap or something, right? Well, in a sense it might be, but let's read a little bit further because that's not the end of the sentence, is it? Hudal al-muttaqin alladhina. Okay, now here comes the condition. Those guys, alladhina yu'minuna bil-ghayb. And Allah is in the ghayb. What is ghayb? Ghayb means you can't see it. You don't have any clue. You don't see it, but you believe in it even though you don't see it. Now, for the benefit of the ones who are mulhideen, these are the people who are atheists. They don't believe in anything, okay? And they say, how would I believe in God? I don't see God. I don't hear God. Can't smell him, taste him, feel him, can't imagine. So there's no God. This is what they say, right? So, are there such a thing as molecules? Can you see molecules? No. Is there such a thing as atoms? Yeah. Can you see them? No. Is there something that makes up the atom? A neutron, an electron, and so on. Is it something like this? Yeah. Can you see them? No. Are there sounds that we don't hear? Are there sounds that we don't hear? Dogs can hear sounds that we don't hear. Roosters, donkeys, they hear sounds. We don't hear them, and this is why they make a lot of noise. You hear a dog barking, and it's like, what's he barking? He hears things you don't hear. So we have things that we don't see, things that we don't hear, around us every day. So why do you want to believe in God? It's not a good excuse anymore, is it? Not a good excuse. Try again. Keep reading though anyway, because there's something else in this body, which is Jahannam. That's the hellfire. And Jannah, which is paradise. And I definitely would like to cash in on the paradise, wouldn't you? If there is such a place, I'd like to go there. So keep reading. Because you'll find throughout the Quran that takes you through this course of learning about something beautiful. But now here comes the condition. It's telling us to believe in the unseen, then establish a salah or connection with the Almighty. Believe. And then let's don't forget about spending your wealth on others. And then believing in what has been sent down to Muhammad, peace be upon him, and what was sent down to the people before. Now you say, what does all this got to do with fasting? I skipped one word in Arabic. I skipped one word in Arabic when I was telling you all of this. Did you catch this? I purposely jumped over it. I'll watch again. Turn up your equipment. Sorry about that. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alif Lam Mim. Dhalika kitabullah rayba fihi. Hudal lil muttaqin. Muttaqin. You didn't get that before because you didn't hear me nail it. I'm determined to ruin something here. Okay. So, what is muttaqin? It's coming from taqi, taqwa. Now, Everybody knows what's taqwa. Who'll tell me what is taqwa? How do you know all these answers? Did you see? Yeah, but I know a lot of Arabs that don't know these answers. Did you see our program before? Be honest. Yeah. Because it's a barrier. Taqwa does not mean righteousness. It does not mean piousness. I don't even know what that word is. I saw it in a book with the translation. Taqwa is a barrier, a shield. A shield against what you said in the first, when you said, I will maghdubi alayhi. Maghdubi ghadab. I will need a shield against Allah's punishment. I need a shield against His ghadab, His wrath on the day of judgment. I need a shield. And this is telling you the shield. At-taqiyyin. How do I get the shield? Now He tells you to believe in Allah, to establish a connection with Him, to give out of the wealth that He gives you, to give to the poor and the needy, and then to believe. Believe in what was sent down to Muhammad and what was sent down before. This is enough for us to now get to our main subject. Because through these different things that we just heard about comes the guidance. The book is telling you, the Quran is telling you about guidance. The guidance from Allah, and it's going to come to you only if you have the shield. If you don't have the shield, sorry, Charlie, you don't get it. Like somebody bought a lot of food but never ate it. Well, who would do that? You buy a whole bunch of food, you're starving, you buy food, and then you just look at it. Would you do that? God. So we understand the importance of getting the shield. Through the Quran, we keep seeing this information coming to us about the salah. Establish the salah and pay the zakat. It says it again and again and again. So those two first things we talked about. But what about that taqwa? How do I get the taqwa? And that's what the ayah goes on to tell us about fasting. The purpose behind the fasting is for you to establish a taqwa. The shield. A shield against Allah's punishment, because you put a shield between you, a partition between you and food, you and drink. And then also a partition between you and saying bad things. Speaking about people. Saying things, especially in Ramadan, you don't ever, you're never supposed to do it as a believer, but especially not in that month. So these things that you're giving up, the things that you're staying away from in Ramadan, this is your shield. You don't fast, you got no shield. It's simple as that. Now, it does say in the Quran, if you're not able to fast, then there are expiations. You can feed fasting people. If you have a problem with your stomach or something the doctor doesn't want you to fast, of course there are ways you can get around that. But just to say, I don't want to fast, I'm not going to, that's your choice. Remember what the choice is. But then what? No shield. No shield. No shield. Play a video game and don't buy a shield and watch how long you last. Watch how long you last. Boom, you're gone. Yeah, everybody knows video games, right? Okay, you got it. You want the shield against the law's anger. There's no shield who's going to be there except this taqwa on the day of judgment. So this is a part of that shield. And it tells you in the Quran, real clear, that that's what it's all about. I wanted to particularly say this for the end of this talk, because if you don't follow the steps that we just did, you're just hearing another lecture, another speech. But you put this together and you realize that this is not just talking. This is a message to the heart, a message to the mind, a message that could possibly help somebody that's sitting at home right now make that decision that, you know what, maybe I don't want to be a Muslim, but I'd sure like to be somebody who's closer to God. All right? So I'm going to ask you to take the Arabic language and just get rid of it. I want to end with this. Take the Arabic and let's go away from that. Don't worry about the Arabic. Let's talk about the English language. Because if you understood what I just talked about, and you said, gee whiz, I didn't know God's name was Allah, and I'm kind of weird with that. All right, just keep saying God, or Dios if you speak Spanish. That's okay. But know this. He created you. You didn't create him. If you created a God, it ain't real. As simple as that. But if you understood he created you, then you should want to know, how can I have the best relationship? This means you need communication. You want to open up to him. So, what relationship do you want with the one that created the universe? First of all, he's not going to share his Godship with you. You are not going to be a God. You're not a partner with him. You're not his brother. You're not his father. You're not his son or daughter. It doesn't work like that. Not happening. But you can have an excellent relationship with him, provided you do right. First of all, acknowledge who he is. Does that make sense or no? He's God. Look up God in the dictionary and figure it out. So if you have a master, that's one thing. But a God is over any kind of master, over any kind of king. There's no king in front of the law. He's the ultimate king. There's no judge in front of the law. Isn't he the greatest of all the judges? There's no other judge, no other king, no other ruler except Almighty God. Now